There comes a precise, unmistakable moment in every serious trader's life when the entire endeavor feels utterly pointless. You have poured months, perhaps years, into this. You have devoured every conceivable resource, strategies dissected line by line, countless hours of video footage, shelves of books whose margins are filled with your frantic annotations. You have backtested until your eyes burned, demo-traded until the platform felt like an extension of your nervous system, kept meticulous journals, refined entries and exits to the pixel. And still, the equity curve refuses to cooperate. One green day is immediately punished by 2 red ones. Just when you dare to believe you have finally cracked the code, the market delivers a reminder, sharp and impersonal, that you most certainly have not. Before we continue, make this commitment. This channel isn't about quick fixes, it's about developing traders with mental strength and discipline. If that resonates with you, join us. Subscribe now so you don't miss any of our upcoming videos. Stay until the end and keep progressing with us, one mindset shift at a time. This video isn't just another trading video, it's a mirror for your mindset. Like now, comment what resonates, and stay until the end. Because one idea here could change how you think, and how you trade. Let's go. This is the exact point at which the overwhelming majority of traders close their platforms forever. It is the moment the whispered thought becomes a scream, maybe this simply isn't for me. But here is the uncomfortable, liberating truth. Very few ever hear at the right time, that soul-crushing sensation is not evidence of failure. It is the clearest evidence that profound change is already underway. What feels like collapse is actually demolition, the controlled destruction of the old, impulsive, emotionally reactive trader you used to be. Every legendary trader you admire has lived inside this same storm. None were exempt. The frustration does not arrive all at once. It creeps in quietly, almost politely, after the initial honeymoon period of hope. And novelty has worn off. In the beginning you were intoxicated by possibility. Every chart was a treasure map, every candle a promise. Success felt inevitable, almost close enough to touch, if only you could discover that one perfect combination of indicators or that one guru who would finally reveal the secret. Then, slowly, the market begins its patient, merciless education. You learn that no setup, no matter how pristine on a historical chart, is immune to failure in real time. You learn that the market does not know your name, does not care about your rent, your dreams, or the story you tell yourself about why you deserve to win this month. You learn that control is an illusion you must gently release. And the first time you truly, viscerally accept that the market is a wild, probabilistic beast rather than a puzzle to be solved, a strange hollowness opens inside your chest. You feel powerless. That feeling of powerlessness is not regression. It is the first taste of genuine wisdom, because only when you stop trying to dominate the market do you finally become teachable. Only then do you begin to notice where the real losses originate, not in bad setups, but in the invisible moments when fear whispered, "Close it now," when greed hissed, "One more lot," when boredom disguised itself as intuition, when the sting of a prior loss demanded immediate revenge. The battlefield was never out there on the charts. It was always inside your skull. And awareness, cruelly, does not arrive with immediate control. It arrives with excruciating clarity. Suddenly you watch yourself in real time making the same mistakes you swore you had outgrown. You see your cursor hover, tremble, and click, close, when he ticks into profit. Because the memory of last week's reversal is louder than your plan. You watch yourself double position size after a loser because admitting defeat feels worse than the risk of ruin. You possess the knowledge, yet the old wiring still fires. This is infinitely more frustrating than the period when you were simply ignorant. Welcome to the loneliest stretch of the entire journey. From the outside nothing appears to have improved. Your account balance is still erratic, your win rate hovers in the same mediocre range, your journal is still filled with the same violated rules. But inside, tectonic plates are shifting. Neural pathways that once equated trading with dopamine and ego validation are being starved and rewired. You are undergoing the psychological equivalent of open-heart surgery while fully conscious. This is the phase most people abandon because the discomfort is no longer abstract, it is intimate and relentless. The market, with impeccable timing, will now deliver its final examination. Perhaps a brutal drawdown after your best month ever. Perhaps one catastrophic rule break that erases 6 months of grinding progress. Perhaps a slow, grinding numbness that makes you stare at the charts with dead eyes, wondering why you still care. This is not bad luck. This is the initiation. The market is asking, in its indifferent way, are you ready to trade without needing to feel clever, without needing the outcome to validate your self-worth? Can you execute the next trade exactly according to plan even though every cell in your body is screaming otherwise? Most hear the question and answer by walking away. They are usually 1 or 2 honest trades away from the shift they have spent years chasing. The traders who eventually cross the threshold possess no secret indicator, no privileged bloodline, no superhuman intellect. They simply developed enough emotional endurance to remain in the furnace a little longer than everyone else. They learned to sit with uncertainty without demanding immediate resolution. They learned to experience fear without obeying it. They learned that the moment you most want to quit is typically the moment the old self is finally dying. When you refuse to quit at that precise moment, something alchemical occurs. The same setups that once triggered adrenaline now register as routine. Volatility that used to feel personal now feels like background noise. Nothing external has changed, yet everything is different. Because the lens through which you perceive the market has been permanently altered. You have crossed the invisible membrane that separates perpetual break-even from sustainable profitability. Before that membrane solidifies, however, there is almost always one last emotional hurricane. The market has an uncanny ability to sense when you are on the verge of detachment and will manufacture the perfect storm to test whether the detachment is real or merely theoretical. You will feel the ancient impulses rise like ghosts: revenge, justification, the need to be right, the terror of missing out. If you can watch those impulses without acting on them, if you can execute the next trade exactly as your plan demands while your nervous system is in full revolt, then the transformation is irreversible. Emotion ceases to be the puppet master and becomes, at most, a noisy passenger. There is a prolonged and agonizing period that every eventual winner endures, the period in which you intellectually understand what you should do, yet repeatedly fail to do it. You have the strategy. You have the statistics. You have the journal full of postmortems promising never again. Then the New York Open arrives, a candle prints, and every solemn vow evaporates. You chase, you hesitate, you snatch profits, you marry losers. You swear tomorrow will be different, only to live the same day again. This is not moral weakness. This is the human operating system running its ancient code in an environment it was never designed for. The market is the most sophisticated psychological stress test ever invented. It does not merely reveal your character, it forges it, or breaks it. At this juncture the charts stop being charts and become mirrors. A ranging market reflects your impatience. A trending Market reflects your fear of missing out. A news spike reflects your impulse. Control, or lack thereof. Every price bar is an opportunity to see exactly how far you still have to travel. Most traders vastly underestimate the dominance of psychology. They believe consistency is primarily a function of edge discovery when, in reality, edge is table stakes. Execution under uncertainty is the entire game. You can possess the statistical equivalent of a printing press and still bleed out slowly if your emotional operating system hijacks the will at critical moments. The pivotal realization, the one that separates lifelong break-even traders from eventual professionals, is that emotion cannot be eradicated, it can only be observed and deprived of authority. Fear will still visit. Greed will still whisper. The difference is that the professional feels the emotion, acknowledges it, and then returns attention to the process. That has been proven, over thousands of iterations, to be positive expectancy. The amateur feels the emotion and obeys. This is why awareness precedes control by a considerable margin. You must first become the kind of person who can watch himself move a stop-loss in real time and feel the full embarrassment of it without defensiveness. You must become the kind of person who can document overtrading after a win streak and recognize the pattern without self-loathing. Only after hundreds of these small, humiliating confrontations does the impulse begin to weaken. The brain learns, through repetition and consequence, that acting on emotion no longer produces the desired relief. The emotional storm is therefore not a detour on the path to consistency, it is the path. Every wave of frustration, every surge of euphoria, every cold knot of fear in the stomach is curriculum. The discomfort is the tuition. Eventually, almost imperceptibly, the center of gravity shifts. You stop measuring the day by the dollar outcome and start measuring it by the quality of decisions made while emotional noise was at maximum volume. A red day executed with flawless discipline begins to feel better than a green day achieved through rule breaking. This is the first unmistakable sign that the rewiring is taking hold. There will still be relapses. There will be days when you feel like a complete beginner again. But the relapses grow shorter and shallower, and the recovery time accelerates. You begin to trust the version of yourself that shows up after a violation, the version that opens the journal without excuses and extracts the lesson with surgical honesty. Resilience compounds faster than capital. And then, one ordinary Tuesday, you notice something strange. The market is doing something that would have unhinged you 6 months ago, and you are bored. Not numb, bored. The drama no longer registers as drama because you have seen this movie before and you already know how it ends. You wait. You watch. You execute only when every predefined condition aligns, and if nothing aligns you close the platform and go for a walk. Not trading becomes as valid and disciplined a decision as trading. That is the moment you understand, at the deepest level, that the market is not something you beat. It is something you survive long enough to outgrow. Every consistent trader you secretly envy has stood exactly where you stand now. They felt the same exhaustion, the same temptation to declare the entire pursuit rigged and walk away with their ego intact. The difference is not talent. The difference is that they interpreted the pain correctly. They understood that the agony was not a signal to quit, it was the death throes of the trader they needed to stop being. If you are living inside that pain right now, if every login feels like a small betrayal of common sense, if you are bone tired of losing the same way again and again, hear this, you are closer than you have ever been. The intensity of the discomfort is directly proportional to the magnitude of the impending transformation. Nature does not waste suffering. The market is not punishing you. It is refining you. Every emotional test you refuse to fail moves you one step closer to the quiet, unshakable confidence that defines the professional. Mastery is not the absence of emotion, it is the mastery of response. And that mastery is forged trade by trade, violation by violation, surrender by surrender, in the crucible you currently wish would end. It will end. But only after it has finished its work. When it does, you will look back and realize, with a mixture of awe and gratitude, that the period you most wanted to escape was the very period that made escape unnecessary. You did not beat the market. You survived the market long enough for the market to beat the weakness out of you. And on the other side of that long, brutal refinement stands the trader you always knew you could become, calm, clear-eyed, patiently waiting for the next high-probability setup while the world rages around him. That trader is not a fantasy. That trader is the future version of you who simply refused to quit when quitting would have been perfectly understandable. Hold the line. The storm is almost over.